Yes.
First question, Doug, right here.
Nick, Doug Smith, the Toronto Star. I guess the only thing of interest would be, is OG going to be activated, and do you think you could get anything out of him if he is able to dress and play?
That's the only thing interesting going on tonight, Doug.
This is the fourth time we've had to talk to you in 3 days. I think you're probably as tired as we are.
He is going to be activated tonight. I don't know if that changes things much, Doug. I think it's been a long time since he's played. He has been pretty active here in the last 4 or 5 days, though, as far as getting up and down the floor and things. He has lost quite a bit of weight as well. So there's that, and there's the timing. I don't probably see much of a chance to play him, but you never know. You never know what could happen, and he is a big, strong, athletic guy, and you never know, a situation might arise. But I would imagine it's down the road here a little bit in this series.
Heroes back on the left.
Just to follow up on OG there, like if he does get into the if he does get into the game, like will he be on some kind of minutes restriction?
Probably. I mean, I just think well, depends how it goes. I usually think when a guy's off for a long time, I would say to him it's probably going to be a 3 or 4 minute burst, because I think that's probably, with the speed, the way the game's moving at this stage of the season, what they could handle. But I think one time this year, Fred VanVleet had come back after a long injury, and we had to start him. I think Kyle was out, and I told him I was going to play him short stints. And right before the ball went up, he said, "My conditioning's great, so if you want to let me run, I'll be okay." And I think I played him 18 straight minutes or something like that. So, I mean, I guess it's all feel. I mean, you probably think 3 or 4 or 5 minutes is probably a high end for that kind of stint, but you never know.
Front row on the right.
Coach, Mike Pina, SB Nation. Kyle has found himself in foul trouble quite a bit recently. For you as a coach, with him specifically, how tricky is it to gauge his minutes late in the ball game, knowing how physical he wants to play, and there's a risk where you can lose him for good? Yeah,
in game one, he took a few that we need to do better. He was first one down the floor, and they ran a big down, and our bigs just weren't getting down there quick enough to kind of do the exchange back, and they threw it long, and he's valuing every possession, so he grabbed them so they wouldn't just lay it in. So we need to protect him a little bit better as well. But it is tricky out there. We've been in some foul trouble in the playoffs a bit with certain guys, and it's strange because it doesn't seem like you're ever in foul trouble in the regular season. So it's a strange thing to try to, when you're going to roll with them, how long you're going to keep them out, et cetera. I think we were fortunate the other night that we had a nice run with him. When he got his 5th, we had a nice run with him. And that double overtime game, I think we lost him with 6 minutes to go in regulation. And again, Fred's done such a good job of running the team that we were able to compensate for that.
Ramona standing here on the left.
Hi, Ramona Shelburne, ESPN. What's a guy like Alex McKechnie do for your franchise when we talk about all the health issues and we talk about OG? Does he tell you what's going on, or is it a dialogue?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, he's running the show, really. I mean, it's his area. He's our director of sports science, which means he oversees all the health, fitness, and training and injury prevention and injury taken care of and stuff like that. So it's totally his call. He tells me who's ready to go and when, and I totally turn that over to him. And as you know, he's got a lot of experience, a lot of championships under his belt, and I think he may have invented the load management term. So,
any other questions for Coach? All right, thank you.
All right, enjoy the game.
Steve, Mark Schwartz, ESPN. NBA history is littered with stories of superstar teammates who just wound up not getting along and egos took over. What is it about Steph and Clay and Draymond and KD that have allowed this run to continue for 5 years and have you guys so connected and hungry still?
I guess every situation is unique and different. I think what's unique about our team is that these guys all play so dramatically differently, in terms of the way they approach the game. Draymond is such a versatile defender and a guy who pushes the ball in transition. Clay, one of the best on-ball defenders in the game, and a great shooter. Steph, on and off-ball wizardry. I mean, they all complement each other so well. And they've basically come up together. They're pretty close in age and get along well, but they love playing together. And they complement each other and have grown and been through a lot of things together. So the bonds have only grown stronger.
Phil, couple rows back.
Hey, Steve. Phil Barber, Santa Rosa Press Democrat, almost in front of you. Your first playoff run in 2015, you guys fell behind in 2 different series. As you look back, did that feel substantially different than it does now when you fall behind? And were your interactions with players and coaches different just because you guys hadn't been through it before at that time?
Yeah, I think so. When you haven't been through it before as a group, there's an unknown that you have to account for, and you have to sort of take a leap of faith each decision that you make, each move that you make. You have to trust each other, not having the history behind you to really have earned that trust. So you're really trying to grow together. At this stage, we've talked about this, but we've been through everything together, and I think there's a really strong bond of faith and trust in one another. So the players trust the staff, and vice versa. The players trust each other, and there's no finger pointing. There's just, hey, let's get better, and let's watch the tape, and let's see where we can make improvements.
Tim on the left side.
Tim Calcom, The Athletic. Since Durant's been out, you've hardly gone, or maybe not even gone, to Draymond at center with a small ball lineup. Is that something you just probably can't do much without Durant in there, or is that something you've contemplated to do without Durant?
It's much different, without Kevin. Each guy in that lineup has to take on a different role, and so you think about who would replace Kevin in that lineup, and you've got your options and your alternatives, but we obviously feel that other lineups make more sense, so that's why we go a different direction.
Over here in the second row.
Steve, obviously the shirt you're wearing and the politics of you and the team has been no secret. Is there a little bit more meaning to that with former President Obama here?
Actually, I wasn't aware that he was coming until a little while ago. The shirt has everything to do with the tragedy in Virginia Beach a couple days ago, 2 days ago. And how devastated so many families are and so many people are. And the shirt's a reminder that the only way we can get out of this mess is to actually vote, and to vote for people who are going to be willing to create some change in our gun laws in our country. So the young generation, the March for Our Lives generation has really inspired me, and so I offer my support to them and to all young people, and hope that we can create a change where we don't all have to walk around scared we're going to get shot in our country.
Next question on the right side.
Robert Littau, BSO. How is Andre feeling, and what is your expectations for him this evening?
Well, he's been limited in practice the last couple of days, but it's been mostly kind of walk-through stuff anyway. He's going to start, and he'll play, and we've just kind of held him out of most of the drill work just to be cautious, but he's ready to go.
Third row in the center.
Steve, Kayla Gray, TSN. And speaking with DeMarcus Cousins, he said, given the speed of the game from game one, it was a little hard as he's getting back. I'm wondering your approach with his minutes, as, of course, the play of pace has been a lot quicker than maybe other matchups that you guys have had.
Yeah, it's always tougher for big guys. The game moves faster for them when they return from an injury. It takes a little longer to adjust, but I thought he played well the other night. 8 minutes, he generated some points for us, made a couple steals. So he was effective, and we will look at different possibilities, different matchups, and you could see him a little bit more tonight.
Second row on your right.
Steve, Ian Whittle from the London Times. I know you're a Liverpool soccer fan and Mo Salah fan especially. I wondered if you saw the game yesterday. And
I did. I saw the second half. We were practicing during the first half, so I was pleased with the result.
And what was your expert analysis of the game?
Well, I'm not an expert, so I can't offer an expert analysis, but my novice analysis was it was not a particularly well-played game, but again, the result was the desired one for Liverpool fans. It was it reminded me of our game one. We had 9-10 days off. You know, they had almost 3 weeks off. Everybody on both sides looked a little rusty. And our game one felt that way. You know, when you've been off for a little bit, you lose your edge, and you're just not as sharp. So, hopefully, tonight will be sharper.
Steve, Mark Medina, Barry News Group. In lieu of Barack Obama expecting to be at the game tonight, what moments stick with you the most? The times you and other members of the team have been able to interact with him over the years.
Well, the White House visit for sure after the 15 championship. So that was quite a thrill to visit there and have the whole team there. And, it's a treat to experience that.
Any other questions for Coach?
Thanks.
Thank you.